Airlines pregame show is brought to you by the people of United Airlines. We are united.
It's not where you start, but where you finish. Lesson number 1 for the Mariners this postseason. Lesson number 2, if they want to yank away the champion's belt, they'll have to work on that 1-2 punch of untouchable pitching and much better hitting. Hi, everyone. Welcome inside the Fox Network Center. Jeannie Zalasko along with Kevin Kennedy. The road to the World Series goes through Fox Sports, your exclusive home for the entire postseason. 6 playoff games in the books for the Yankees, and there's a theme developing here. New York pitchers have allowed just 13 runs this postseason, Kevin.
And, Jeannie, Andy Pettitte said last night, you know, this ball club has a lot of confidence, and he showed a lot of confidence in the 7th inning with his stuff. 3-1 ball game at the time. The Yankees were leading. Powers a fastball, and Edgar Martinez with a runner at first base. Nobody out. Cutter right there. Little breaking ball again, trying to power him in. Flipping a breaking ball up again. He's just staying in with an overhand curve right now. And finally, watch this pitch. Down in the zone. Great cutter right there to Edgar Martinez, out number 1. Now, still runner at first base. Tying run up. Mike Cameron, breaking ball in. 5-4-3 double play ball. Great sequence by Andy Pettitte. 8 strong innings. Only allowed 3 base hits. They got the ball to Mariano Rivera. 8th inning after a lead for the Yankees. After 8 innings, they are 152-1 in postseason play. This game is over.
It is a travel day, by the way, in the National League. The Diamondbacks head to Atlanta, probably still suffering from Tom Glavine nightmares, Kevin.
It was a huge win for Tommy Glavine. He got a big home run by Javi Lopez. Bobby Cox put him in the lineup for that reason, and he got it from him. And I'll tell you, they go back 1-1 instead of down 2-0. That was a big win for me last night, a must-win, because you got to face Kurt Schilling on Friday.
And we remember what happened to the Braves' last opponent. 4 division titles in 5 years, nothing but repeated first-round exits to show for it. The final straw for Larry Dierker in Houston. With 1 year remaining on his contract, he resigned today.
I'm very proud of what we achieved. And yet, I understand, looking at this from a player's standpoint, you know, we wanted to go further. Every time we made it, we wanted to move on, and we never did. And sometimes things can get stale.
We mentioned on last week's show that Larry Dierker may have managed himself out of a job by not pitching to Barry Bonds. He walked him 11 times the final week of the season. He worried about Barry Bonds instead of the rest of the ball clubs. The Giants swept the Astros. It cost him, and I think it cost Larry Dierker his job. A lot of negativity that weekend.
He may not go far, though. He's been offered a position in the front office. Coming up more on Game 2 of the ALCS. The Yankees put their money where the mound is. Tonight, the Moose is loose and gets a little northern exposure.
United Airlines pregame show.
More than 3,000 miles and a $34 million payroll difference separates New York and Seattle. So just how much did the Yankees spend on their starting rotation alone? That was Lou Piniella's question after Game 1. The Mariners manager may not know the exact figures, but he has his own answer, Kevin. I know they pay him enough, they should win.
Jeannie, Freddy Garcia goes on only 3 days rest, second time in his career, and he's got to face this guy right here. Mike Mussina with that 95 fastball, great overhand curveball. He paints the ball. He's got outstanding command, great control. He does not beat himself. Look at the earned run average, 3-1, 2.17 earned run average in 7 games postseason play. Freddy Garcia, when he's on, he's got a great changeup, great split, fading away to lefties. He gets him out, and he'll power that 95 fastball up in the zone and go back to the changeup and the split. He gets a lot of ground ball outs when he's on. Now, he's got the best stuff on his staff. He is capable of beating this ball club. Ichiro Suzuki was stopped yesterday by Andy Pettitte because he powered him up and in. We don't see too many guys doing that to Suzuki, and then jamming him right there. Set the tone in the first inning, get a ground out. Second time up in the 4th inning. Watch the breaking ball of Andy Pettitte. This is a breaking ball slider down and away. Suzuki does fall toward first base. That's how he gets out of the box fast. But this time he couldn't reach the outside corner. Normally he slaps that ball into left field, but great location, low in the zone by Andy Pettitte. He set the tone early. He stopped Suzuki. He went 0 for 3 in this ball game. Game notes, Mussina, 1 earned run average, last 5 postseason starts, absolutely outstanding. Boone, a 125 batting average in the playoffs so far, and Olerud hitless in 4 of his 6 playoff games. That is not going to get it done. Now, I don't think it's a must-win tonight. If Garcia loses this ball game, and I mentioned he's only gone on 3 days rest twice in his career. This will be the second time. He did not fare well the first time. But should he lose tonight, go down 0-2, the Mariners are the best road record in baseball. They have no fear. They've only lost 1 road series this year. They got Moyer pitching Game 3. You don't know what El Duque is going to do. You don't know what Clemens is going to do in Game 4. They could easily go in and win 2 out of 3, bring the thing back to Seattle. Not a must-win like it was for Atlanta last night.
All right, that's going to do it for us. But the journey continues in Seattle, where the Mariners are out to prove they didn't lead the world in wins in just about every other category for nothing. Not a must-win, according to our skipper or Piniella, but this is as close as it gets. The road to the World Series continues next on Fox.
Do you want to throw away a six-figure income job to be a...
Work Center, the Mariners knew the road to the World Series would go through New York. They just hope they aren't forced to carry the baggage of a 2-game deficit with them to the Big Apple. Tom Brenneman and Steve Lyons have all the action from Seattle.
Welcome to sold-out Safeco Field in Seattle. It's Game 2 in this American League Championship Series. The 3-time defending world champion New York Yankees, winners yesterday, trying to go up 2-0. Seattle, of course, trying to even the series at a game apiece as we head back to the Bronx on Saturday. And a pleasant good evening to you. Alongside Steve Lyons, I'm Tom Brenneman. Welcome to playoff baseball here on Fox. Needless to say, a critical game, a must-win game for Lou Piniella's Mariners. With that in mind, he has the right man on the mound, his ace, Freddy Garcia.
Well, a lot of people around this Mariner organization, around the trading deadline, thought that they should go out and trade for an ace. They didn't have to because Freddy Garcia developed into that ace. 18 wins on the season. But the big question mark for him is that he's only gone on 3 days rest one time in his career. It didn't work out that well last time it happened, but they say he's strong. He only threw 80 pitches in his last outing, and they feel like he's healthy enough to go out there and do it again today.
Roger Clemens may win the Cy Young Award in the American League, but I don't think there's any disputing the fact that right now the best pitcher the Yankees have is getting the ball in Mike Mussina tonight.
That's an easy statement to make. The guy hasn't lost a game since August. He's coming off of his division series win against Barry Zito and the Oakland A's, where he was just dominating. But you know what? The Mariners are saying they have their contact lineup in the game today with Javier and McLemore back in the lineup. They swing at pitches early. They put the ball in play. Mussina's always around the plate, and so they like their chances tonight.
Speaking of lineups, Joe Torres told us a short while ago he really likes the way this left-handed hitting part of his lineup is coming around, particularly O'Neill and Justice.
Right, those guys back in the lineup, they're swinging the bats a lot better. O'Neill with the big home run in last night's ball game. Justice swinging the bat a lot better. And, of course, you put Bernie and Posada on that side of the plate where they're much stronger left-handed hitters.
All right, let's go downstairs to the public address announcer here at Safeco Field.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please remain standing and join in a moment of silence as we remember the men and women who lost their lives in the tragic events that struck the United States on September 11th. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this evening the Mariners are pleased to welcome a very special guest with a long and prestigious career as one of opera's top tenors. He now currently performs with the Seattle Opera in their production of Dvorak's Rusalka. Here to honor America and perform our national anthem, please join and let your voices be heard as we welcome back Alan Woodrow.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets had the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Alan Woodrow, ladies and gentlemen.
Seattle starter Freddy Garcia just making his way back from the bullpen beyond the left center field wall, so we'll be a few minutes from getting this one started. Certainly something to keep in mind, Steve. Garcia only 25, in fact just turned 25 12 days ago. Yet in the playoffs he stood tall, especially last year in the league championship series, winning the only 2 Seattle victories in that 6-game set against New York.
Yeah, of course, and these are the numbers from last year, the 2 wins. Look at the ERA. Didn't give up a whole lot of hits and struck out 11 in those 2 wins. He's the kind of guy that will let you put the ball in play. Likes to throw a lot of ground balls, a heavy, hard 93-mile-an-hour sinker, but showing signs of maturity beyond his years, as you mentioned, just 25 years old.
Lou Piniella told us in our meeting with him earlier today, a tip-off on Freddy Garcia as to whether or not he's going to be effective.
Has to throw strikes with his fastball, and that kind of sounds elementary, but this guy, more than anything else, he's a 3-pitch pitcher. Good hard sinker. He's got to throw that over the plate and get guys to swing at it, because that makes his curveball and his changeup, which is outstanding, much more effective.
Lou Piniella got in Cincinnati to the World Series title back in 1990. This is the 4th time he has taken the Mariners to the postseason. They had never finished above 500 as a franchise until Piniella arrived on the scene. Took him to the playoffs in 1995, again in 97, and now for the 2nd consecutive year, they're in the American League Championship Series. Joe Torre, of course, has managed the Yankees to 4 World Series titles in the last 5 years, including the last 3.
Yeah, that's funny back there in the Mariner dugout with Lou Piniella swinging the bat. This is the type of team that is so loose and has so much fun, and they're still that way. They're hanging in there. Cameron's still talking a lot. Boone's still talking about they probably will fine Piniella for impersonating a hitter because he picked up the bat.
And the Mariners take the field, hoping to get some of that mojo that they didn't have here yesterday. For the Yankees, their starting lineup, Chuck Knobloch leads off in left, Derek Jeter at short, David Justice, the designated hitter, Bernie Williams in center, Tino Martinez at first, Jorge Posada behind the plate, Paul O'Neill. A big 2-run home run here yesterday is in right. Scott Brocious at third. Alfonso Soriano at second. The Yankee lineup brought to you by Kia. And on the mound, as we talked about, the native Venezuelan, Freddy Garcia.
Now we talked about the fact that this guy really developed into their ace. He's a workhorse, 18-6 in 238 innings. This is a guy, as we talked about before, with a heavy, hard sinker, and he throws it hard. A lot of guys that throw a sinker, they're running up there about 89, 90. He can throw this sinker about 93, 94. He's got to throw it for strikes. He's got a great changeup to go along with it. But if you can't get ahead in the count, you're not going to get anybody fishing. And as we mentioned, he has become the ace of this staff, so they're no longer looking for an ace of this staff. They've got one.
Take a look at the Mariner defense. The best in the American League this season. Stan Javier getting a start in left field. Mike Cameron in center. Ichiro is in right. David Bell, John Olerud on the corners. Brett Boone in second, and Mark McLemore, who started 30 games, played in 35 at shortstop during the regular season. A battery of Garcia and Danny Wilson. Our broadcast tonight is also available in Spanish by utilizing the SAP button on your television. Obviously, the roof is closed here tonight at Safeco Field, but you see a different twist to the dome, if you will, here in Seattle. It's still an open-air stadium. It's a chilly night. Temperatures expected to get down into the very low 40s. No rain today, but there is some in the forecast, so they figure close it up. Chuck Knobloch to lead it off. First pitch fastball, strike one, says Wally Bell, the home plate umpire, and we are underway game 2 in this American League Championship Series. A ball and a strike. Knobloch 3 hits in 5 at-bats, knocked in a run, also doubled in the Game 1 win here yesterday. Overall in the postseason, 9 hits and 27 at-bats for Knobloch. That ball hammered down the left field line towards the corner. It is a foul ball, not by much.
Chuck Knobloch can turn on a fastball up and into him. He has no problem getting around that ball. He runs into problems when he gets a little too big and tries to hit the ball out of the ballpark. He's been outstanding as a leadoff hitter in the postseason. There was a little bit of worry because slowed down towards the back half of the season. Really wasn't doing the type of things that they needed from their leadoff hitter.
Two and two. A down year for Knobloch when looking back not only the last 3 seasons but his entire career. He has been a very good player for a long time. At times a great player. 3 and 2. And at times just an average player, especially after all the throwing problems he had over the last couple of seasons, which forced him from second to left.
After being a Gold Glove second baseman when he played for the Minnesota Twins.
Lined off the glove of Olerud into right field. Ichiro over to cut it off, and he'll hold Knobloch to a leadoff single. And very early on, what Joe Torre told us, they're going to force Garcia to throw strikes, and if his pitch count begins to pile up, Seattle could be in a world of hurt.
And so far in this at-bat to Knobloch, he's up. The sinker is not going to be effective if it's up over the belt of the hitter. Nice try by Olerud right there, and a great job by Ichiro. He wasn't even in the picture when we showed that ball right there, but how quickly he got over there to cut it off. And everybody now knows that the guy has a cannon out there. You're not going to be challenging his arm very often.
Derek Jeter, 8 of 23 in the postseason with 1 run batted in. Knobloch during the regular season stole 38 bases. Bunted up the third base line perfectly. What else is new for Jeter? The throw off the line, but Olerud keeps the foot on the bag. But whatever he asked Jeter to do, he does it. Just a winning player. He made this look effortless.
Now he can do it all, and Jeter just drops it down here. Watch the play that Olerud makes at first as we pick up this play. The throw goes up the line. Olerud has to make a decision on which side to catch the ball on. That's a tough chance to stay on the inside and take the chance that you run your glove into the runner coming down the base and maybe break a finger, or skip to the other side of the base as Olerud does, still catch the ball before the runner gets there and then get out of the way.
Now David Justice, 4 hits and 17 at-bats during the postseason. Hit .241 during the regular year, 18 homers, 51 runs batted in. Strike 1. Justice knocked in a big run. His only hit in 4 at-bats. He also drew a walk. He had the RBI single in the 9th inning that scored Soriano. The Yankees playing for the early lead, bunting Knobloch over to second. Soft liner caught by Olerud. A throw. But getting back to the bag is Knobloch to away in the inning. This is a Yankee lineup that has had next to 0 success against Freddy Garcia since Garcia came over in the Randy Johnson deal from Houston in '98. Their starting lineup tonight combined 13 hits and 63 career at-bats against Garcia. That's a .206 average.
Well, I think the thing that scares the Seattle Mariners right now is a couple of balls already have been hit pretty hard against Garcia, is that he's got to get that sinker down in the strike zone. He's got to run it down and get these guys to pound the ball into the ground.
What another Bernie Williams. We saw 4 hits and 21 at-bats during this postseason, has 5 runs batted in, and all 5 came in the same game, Game 4 of the American League Division Series, in the thumping of the Athletics to send it back to New York. Bottom fell out of that pitch, a ball and a strike.
Now watch this pitch. It's just a changeup that's just going to sink down, 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 and take off on Bernie there. Down in the zone, down below the knees, and that's where he's going to have to live all night long.
1-1. Full at Olerud, and the inning is over. A leadoff single. Knobloch stranded at second base. Ichiro will lead it off when the Mariners come to bat. Seattle coming to bat, bottom half of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Mariners starting lineup, brought to you by Kia. Ichiro will lead off in right. Mark McLemore at short. Brett Boone is at second. Edgar Martinez is always worn out Yankee pitching, although that was not the case yesterday in game one. He's a DH. Olerud at first. Mike Cameron in center. Stan Javier is in left. Dan Wilson catching. David Bell, and the 32-year-old native of Williamsport, Pennsylvania, Mike Mussina, gets the ball in game two for the Yankees. Breaking ball, strike one to Ichiro.
Mike Mussina, look at the numbers on the season for him. He put on an absolute clinic in game 3 of the divisional series against Oakland.
Mussina has been spectacular over the last month and a half. He got Ichiro to chase high and away. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, we call Mussina a control freak because he doesn't walk too many guys. Just 42 on the season. Can throw any pitch anytime for a strike. And the reason why we say he has a deceptive overhand delivery is because every one of his pitches is delivered almost exactly the same arm angle. Very tough to pick up the difference in his pitches with his delivery.
Crowd out of play. Ichiro 1 of 4 yesterday. Didn't get his hit until his final at bat in the 9th inning when he doubled to left and scored one of just 2 Seattle runs against Pettit and Rivera. One and 2.
Tommy, I talked to John McLaren earlier today, and he says Ichiro, with this little ritual that he does when he points that bat out at the fielders out there, is he's surveying the field. Watch his eyes. He's looking around to see where there's an opening in the defense, and then he said he is amazing at being able to hit it there.
Ground ball by Jeter into left center field. And that's the way it starts in the Mariner opening inning. And when the Mariners score first, they are 86-9 during the season.
Ichiro checking it out, looking around. Where can I hit the ball? Not too many guys can hit the ball anywhere they want it. This is one of them. Look at the eye control right there. He just slaps at the ball right up the middle. And you had talked about that, Tommy, where you say a lot of people think that he's just a slap hitter. But he swings the bat with some bad intent. But the way he swings the bat kind of gives everyone the idea that he's just slapping it all over the yard.
I mean, you got to look right there. A lot of guys that just slap the ball. That's about a 4-hopper to the shortstop. That ball had some juice on it.
And it was only a few feet to Jeter's left, and he wasn't able to get there because he shot it through the infield.
Ichiro, 56 stolen bases, leading the American League during the regular season. Look for the Mariners to be swinging early and often against Mussina. If you fall behind him, like most pitchers, but even more so against Mussina, he's got you around the neck.
Well, Mussina, when people look at the numbers, opponents are hitting .319 on the first pitch. He likes to get ahead with his fastball, and guys like to swing early because they don't want to have to get to the other nasty stuff that he has. The knuckle curveball, a regular curveball, a straight change that he throws up there, can throw them all for a strike. So guys like to go up there and hit early and often on him to not have to get to 2-2 counts, to 1-2 counts, when then they're really in trouble.
Martin McLemore making his first start of this series. They went with Carlos Guillen at shortstop yesterday. McLemore, just a good, solid player, and you can play him just about anywhere. He's played all over the outfield, all over the infield. Made 30 starts at shortstop. Hit .286 during the regular season, 5 home runs, 57 batted in. But he can run. 39 steals on the year for McLemore. A lot of
speed at the top of the order.
1-1. Lined into left field. Caught by Knobloch towards the line, and Ichiro back to first base. 1 away.
Yeah, that was a pretty celebrated move for Knobloch to go out to left field for the Yankees this year. They started in spring training with Soriano out in left and Knobloch playing second, and they made the switch there. Knobloch gets a great jump on this ball by McLemore that he hit it out there. Knobloch, great jump after it, but he should be looking for McLemore to hit the ball that way, so you anticipate a little bit more, hey, the guy's going to hit the ball to me, but still very nicely done out there by a guy who just started playing left field this year.
Now Brett Boone hit 37 home runs during the regular season. Swing and a miss. Boone in the postseason only 3 of 24.
Well, this is a much better swing though. Watch him try to pull his hands in and at least hit the ball the other way. Looks like he's been freelancing before and trying to pull balls. Hooks that ball a little bit at the last minute, but as long as he's leading with his hands and thinking into the opposite field, Brett Boone will go back to the hitter he's been all year long.
Fastball caught the outside corner, and it's 0-2. Boone knocked in 141 runs, most in the American League during the regular season. He has not knocked in a run during this postseason, either in the division series or in game 1 here of the championship series. Lined into center field, it'll fall in front of Williams. Good piece of 2-strike hitting right there by Boone. Mussina may have made a mistake.
Little mistake with location. That ball stays up in the strike zone, but Boone, he does a great job up the middle and the other way, just staying where they're just serving it. You think he sees this pitch? Woo! I want to get that one. There you go. That's a nice sign right there.
You keep getting hits, they'll dig even more.
Swing the bat, my friend.
Now Edgar. 306 hitter during the regular season, 23 home runs, 116 batted in. Too low.
Remember that Ichiro stole third base 11 times this season. Boone has decent speed at first, and a lot of times if you don't think you can get the guy at third, many times you'll try to get the trail runner at second base, but Boone runs well enough to pull off a double steal type with not a whole lot of fear that they're going to gun him down at second.
1-0. Fastball up and in, 2-0 to Edgar Martinez, who went 1 of 4 here in the game yesterday. In 12 career postseason games against the Yankees, Edgar Martinez, a .391 hitter with 14 runs batted in. A great hitter. It's a great hitter's count here at 2-0. On the ground should be 2. Brocious, Soriano, and that's a double play to end the inning. Mussina allows 2 hits but gets a double play ball. We're scoreless at the end of 1. First pitch swinging to begin the second inning is Tino Martinez, and he has his second Yankee hit. It's his second inning in a row. The leadoff man has reached against Garcia.
That's a great piece of hitting by Tino Martinez with the sinker ball going away from the lefties. Tino thinking the other way. The only time you can really get out there and try to pull a sinker ball hitter is if he makes a mistake, leaves the ball up and out over the plate, and the ball doesn't sink. But if the guy's got his good stuff and the ball's running away from you as a left-handed hitter, you have to start thinking into the left center field gap.
Mussina putting together a solid postseason. 9 hits and 21 at bats, a home run, 2 knocked in. First pitch swinging, he's down a strike. Tonight's game being seen live around the world by U.S. servicemen and women through the facilities of the American Armed Forces Television Service. All of America salutes you and appreciates what you're doing for our country. May God watch over you and bless you. 0-1 to Posada, who hit 22 home runs during the regular season, knocked in 95. This guy just keeps getting better and better.
Huge home run in the postseason against the Oakland Athletics. 1-0 game, game 3. Asked him if he was feeling strong before tonight's ball game. He said, yeah, until I tried to run for that double last night. Joe Torre was saying he was a little nervous when Posada was going for 2, especially when Ichiro out there was throwing it. He said it looked to me like he was running for his life.
Joe Torre just will talk to you for hours and hours about watching Ichiro. 2-1 delivery. Fouled back out of play. The team's only met 9 times now with the unbalanced schedule this year. But 9 games, plenty enough for Ichiro to impress the Yankee skipper. You brought up earlier about Ichiro's first step in the outfield. Torre says he's never seen a better first step by any outfielder in all his baseball years.
That's saying something.
Oh, yeah.
Posada must have realized that going into the league championship series, the games are a little bit bigger. He shaved, had his playoff beard working in the divisionals.
2-2. Fastball high, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Yeah, normally when you win 3 in a row, guys are going to keep that growth going until you lose a game. Jorge clearly not superstitious sort.
Never cleans his helmet off either.
Of course, if that were the case, he wouldn't have shaved for the last 3.5 years. Taken outside, ball 4. The first 2 on for the Yankees here in the second inning against Freddy Garcia, who is pitching on 3 days rest. We mentioned it's only the 2nd time in his major league career he's been asked to do that. The other back in 1999, he had a 5-inning, 75-pitch outing and a 6-1 win over Tampa Bay at the end of May. Came back 3 days later, pounded by the Orioles, 8 hits, 6 runs.
A lot of times with a pitcher like Garcia, you look for body language, and right now he's not pitching with a lot of confidence as far as his body language is concerned.
Now Paul O'Neill. 2 on, nobody out. Fouled out of play. O'Neill in the 4th inning here yesterday with Posada at second base. Made it 3-0.
Somebody up.
For O'Neill, his 10th career postseason home run. Mariners looking for the double play ball. O'Neill bounced into 20 of those this season. The 0-1. Way upstairs. Martinez and Posada have started the inning. Martinez with a single, Posada a walk. 2 on, nobody out. And it's a ball and a strike on Paul O'Neill. Popped it up. Short left field. Javier coming on. 1 away. It gives us a chance to remind you that Game 3 of the National League Championship Series comes your way right here on Fox tomorrow night. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. That series tied at a game apiece. Curt Schilling, who has been the best postseason pitcher in either league so far, will get the ball tomorrow night for Bob Brenly's team. John Burkett starts it for Bobby Cox's Braves. And you and I will be jumping on the red eye with our merry cast of characters and be calling that one from Turner Field tomorrow night. Another red eye.
How many can you take in a 1-week span?
As many as it takes, brother.
You got it.
As long as we're there for the big game. 2 on, 1 out. And here's Scott Brosius. Lined fair down the left field line. Rounding third and coming home is Martinez. On his way to third, Posada. The ball rattles around in the corner. Jorge will score from first. A 2-run double by Brocious gives the Yankees a 2-0 lead. Brocious 1 for 20 in the postseason until this.
Well, this is a ball right down the middle of the plate. Garcia is really struggling with control. Hammers this ball down the left field line, and then it kind of bounces around down there. Tino's going to score easy. Stanley said, you know, instead of hitting the padding, it hit the cement wall and bounced past him again. Well, you really can't fault Stan Javier for a play like that. There's some cement on that wall underneath the padding. You're hoping that it's going to bounce off the padding. You go in and pick it up.
Breaking ball on away to Alfonso Soriano.
It hits the cement wall 6 inches underneath the padding, and then bounces so much quicker back off of that and right by you again. Posada doesn't score on that ball if it hits the padding.
1-0 to Soriano. Breaking ball in there, a strike. 1-1.
Yeah, that could be end up being a huge play. Look, off the cement, and then right past Javier, because it bounced so much more quickly off that cement than it would have if it hit the padding. It would have been a much deader bounce, and that's why Javier was going in to try to make that play.
1-2 to Soriano.
I'm not so sure why you have to have that cement base there of 6 inches where the padding doesn't hit. Maybe when you're watering down the warning track or something out there, but if there is no good reason and this becomes a big play, I can guarantee you that next year or maybe next series, that padding will go all the way to the ground. One-two. Fly ball, center field, playable for Cameron. 2 gone. Scott Brocious, a '98 World Series Most Valuable Player. Only 1 of 20 coming into this game, but a huge 2-run double to give the Yankees the early lead. Knobloch singled his first time up. It's kind of been Scott Brocious's MO for a long time. Kind of lies in the weeds. He hits way down in the order. Occasionally you forget about him, and then bang, hurts you. This is a big batter for Freddy Garcia. Already trailing 2-0. Mussina's been stingy with runs the entire year, especially so over here the last month and a half. Ball 1. And by the way, some of you may be wondering, what in the world is that noise? Well, we talked about it here on Fox a great deal during the All-Star game and during our Fox Saturday games during the regular season. And trains run right by this ballpark. Short center field, Cameron coming hard. Did he get it? Did he get it? Waiting for a signal. No, he did not. The right field line umpire, Ed Montague, says no. It's a base hit. Scoring is Brocious, and it's 3-0 Yankees. The second base umpire, Charlie Relaford, did not go out to see whether or not Cameron was able to make the catch. Cameron comes in here, and that ball bounced right into his glove. It's a definite bounce, but does it bounce on the fingers first? No, it doesn't. Definitely bounced on the ground. Montague makes that play from outside, from making the right field line, but Freddy's not too happy about the situation, and Cameron was looking at the wrong umpire to get a call. Meantime, the run was scoring. Relaford stays inside there to make sure that there's a play at second base. He's the umpire that makes the calls, and the outside umpires close into the gaps when the ball's hit and make the call. That's why Montague made that call from the right field foul line. 3-0 Yankees here in the top half of the second inning. A 2-run double by Brocious and a 2-out run scoring single by Knobloch, who had 3 hits here yesterday and already 2 for 2 tonight. was a nice try by Cameron, too, in center field, who's an outstanding defensive center fielder. Some people will say, well, he was so close to it. Why didn't he dive for it? Well, because then you get in between. You can either shoestring a ball or you dive for it. You kind of get in between where your concept of where the ball is.
Knobloch running. Wilson's throw to second base, and Knobloch is out at second base. Cameron tried to steal one, but couldn't do it. Correctly ruled by the umpire. 3-0 Yankees after an inning and a half. It's Mike Mussina. First pitch swinging. Olerud, fly ball down the left field line. Knobloch to get it. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Tommy, in yesterday's ball game, we got on Garcia or Carlos Guillen a little bit with his great throw from Ichiro because he didn't sweep the tag through to the base. Posada was safe because of a bad tag. And now tonight with Brett Boone playing second base, the Gold Glover, and Nobby trying to steal a base. Look at him catch it, sweep it through there, make the tag, and get out of there so you don't get hurt. You'll always get the call there.
Mike Cameron at .267 during the regular season. 25 home runs, 110 batted in, is 5 of 20 during the postseason. It's only the second at bat of the game for the Mariners against Mussina. But you have to believe, as it looked like he went around, he did 0-2, that there's a little bit more tension now in that Seattle dugout. It's not a pressing group, if you will. You talked about it earlier. Very relaxed. But all of a sudden, you're down 3.
And the guy that helps this team relax more than anybody else is the guy at the plate, Cameron.
He puts a charge into one. Left field, but room out there for Knobloch. And he's got it. At the warning track, 2 up, 2 down.
If you need any more evidence that this is a big, big ballpark and that the ball does not jump out of here. Cameron pretty good charge into that ball right there and didn't come close to going out of here.
Now Javier. Breaking ball by Mussina, drops on the inside edge, a strike. Mussina has not allowed an earned run in his last 16 postseason innings and has allowed only 1 earned run in his last 23 innings in postseason play. That's a 0.41 ERA. There was a time when a lot of people felt Mussina couldn't win the big one. His first taste of the playoffs with Baltimore back in '96 and '97. But since then, not many people want to face him.
And those same people that said he couldn't win the big one didn't really check the numbers either, because he did have outstanding numbers, just didn't get the wins. Of
course, Mariner fans don't want to hear about it, because where Mussina really turned the corner was in '97 during the division series when he beat the Mariners twice in 14 innings. Allowed only 3 earned runs. Just off the inside corner, 2-2 to Javier. Fouled away. It'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here are the numbers we were talking about for Mussina in the postseason. 49 2/3 innings, 30 hits.
I think hitters, especially when they fall behind in a count, try to work the count to the point where they can get back to 2-2. As you've mentioned many times, a lot of pitchers will go after you a little harder 2-2 because they don't want to get to 3-2. They don't want to mess around. Mussina doesn't walk very many guys, but he also doesn't care if he goes to 3-2. So he'll still bring one of his nastiest pitches to you 2-2 because he'll throw a strike 3-2.
Breaking ball, try to bring it in the side door, and he missed. We'll do it again.
Well, that'll let you know you're alive back there when you get a foul tip off your face. Boink. I'll wake you up a little bit back there, you think?
In a hurry.
Catchers don't even flinch. They just put their mask back on, throw the ball back to the pitcher, and act like it happens every day.
3-2. Javier hanging in there, making Mussina work. Freddy Garcia on 3 days rest. Only the second time in his major league career he's been asked to do that. As Steve mentioned earlier, he only had 80 pitches in the Game 5 victory over Cleveland. But he's already given up 3 runs on 4 hits through the first 2 innings tonight. A 9-pitch at bat, and Javier draws a 2-out walk. Wilson, a guy who has struggled throughout his career in the postseason, but he is a guy that Lou Piniella loves to play hit and run with. And let's see if the Mariners have some action down 3 here in the bottom of the second inning. Javier runs very well. Runner not going, and it's high ball 1.
It's easier to put things on, moves like that, towards the back of your order, especially if you have guys that can handle the bat. Javier runs well. Wilson not bad at handling the bat. Down in the lineup, he can make some moves.
2-0. Mussina not as sharp here early on. Don't get me wrong, it's not to say he can't get it together in a hurry. But he allowed 2 hits in the opening inning. He got Edgar to bounce into the double play to end the inning. Cameron hit the ball very hard here in the second, and then a walk to Javier. He's fallen behind Wilson 2-0. Fouled out of play, 2-1. Wilson, the former #1 pick by the Cincinnati Reds. They drafted him when Lou Piniella was the manager in Cincinnati. And when Lou left there and came here, he said, let's see if we can find a way to swing a deal and bring that kid over here. Two and two. That was a deal, ironically enough, you may remember, that brought Wilson along with reliever Bobby Ayala to Seattle from Cincinnati for Eric Hansen, a right-hander, and Brett Boone. Boone originally on Mariners, sent to Cincinnati. And here he is back having a big year. It stays 2-2.
Wilson doing a good job of just trying to stay alive there with 2 strikes on 2 nasty pitches on the corner. Sometimes hitters have to foul off those nasty pitches in order to get to the point where they can get a mistake to hit. Mussina might make a mistake, leave one out over the plate.
Hit hard, but foul.
Now, this is a great breaking ball. It's the knuckle curve that Mussina has, but it is left out over the middle of the plate. Some really good break on it, but not a great location. Wilson can't just stay back long enough to keep it fair.
It was a 9-pitch at bat for Javier. This is the 7th pitch in the at bat to Wilson, and we'll have another pitch. So 2 guys at the bottom of the order really making Mussina work.
It doesn't happen that often for Mussina because he's around the plate so much that guys know that they have to be aggressive, so they put the ball in play early in counts.
Foul on a play again. So you saw the 20 pitches in the inning by Mussina, but 15 of them, now 16 of 21, have come against Javier and Wilson. In the air, and this one will drift in amongst the fans. What an at-bat here for Dan Wilson.
And the fans are loving him because he keeps throwing baseballs out there to him. I don't know if they're clapping right now because they want him to get a hit or because they think that he might foul one off to them.
It might be it. Those are both good choices.
Come on, Danny, hit it here.
2-2 again. And a liner it is. A base hit into right center field. Over to cut it off O'Neill. He does. Flips the ball to Bernie Williams. And being held at third base is Javier. How about that play by Paul O'Neill? Undoubtedly, the Mariners would have sent Javier to the plate.
This is a great play that he gets there to cut it off, and then watch the flip over to Bernie Williams. And Bernie gets it into the cutoff man so that Javier cannot score all the way from first base. This play does not happen very often, but I don't know why it does, and that is great communication between 2 outfielders. Paul O'Neill going away from the ball, and remember, he's got a bad foot. For him to try to stop, put the brakes on, and turn around and throw this ball, you might send Javier anyway. But no way when you flip it to Bernie and he gets it in that quick. Nice veteran play by 2 veteran players out there.
They went to school off Derek Jeter. They're on the corners with 2 away. David Bell, the batter. Big breaking ball. And Mussina saying, where in the world did that miss? A little life for the Mariners here in the second.
There's the knuckle curve again. And that ball just stays up a little bit. A little movement from Posada back there as well. May have stolen that pitch away.
One ball and 1 strike. The inning began with a fly ball by Olerud on the first pitch. Cameron then hit the ball to the warning track. It was caught out there by Knobloch. But then a 9-pitch at bat by Javier, who walked. A 9-pitch at bat by Wilson, who singled. It's interesting to note that this season, with a pitcher of Mussina's stature, that the opponents with runners in scoring position hit .307 against Mussina this year. One and 2. You're wondering about David Bell. He hit .305 in these situations.
I asked Bell before the game, what do you try to do with Mussina? What do you look for? Kind of started laughing and said, I'm not sure yet. Sometimes you try to see what he's got working for him, but he said, you know, a lot of times with him, you try to pick one pitch and sit on it. And he said, I like to sit on a breaking ball from Mussina. The tough part for a player to do is to stay with that philosophy when you have 2 strikes. A lot of times you'll say, I'm going to do a certain thing, but when I get to 2 strikes, I have to protect the plate. If you have enough guts or enough confidence in your ability at this time that you're still going to see a breaking ball, why change the philosophy? If you don't get it, though, you get a fastball, you have no chance of hitting it.
He got a fastball and it's high. Tino will back up behind the runner Wilson, who gets started on the 3-2. They're standing in Seattle looking for runs. Inning over. Second inning in a row. Mussina is able to wiggle off the hook. End of 2. 3-0 Yankees.
The League Championship Series is presented by the New York Stock Exchange. The world puts its stock in us.
Top half of the third inning we go at Safeco Field in Seattle. 3-0 Yankees. All 3 runs coming in the second inning. A 2-run double by Brocious and an RBI single by Knobloch. Derek Jeter put down a sacrifice in the opening inning, a one-hopper right at Olerud.
You know, we watched one of the best players on that Yankee lineup, Derek Jeter, drop down a sacrifice bunt. This time trying to go the other way than the way he normally does. Doesn't get a good piece of the ball. Knows he's going to be out. So he just dogs it down the line, right? No chance. Running all the way.
Well, we talked about it during the division series. A conversation, a great conversation, as it always is, with Don Zimmer, as David Justice settles in with one away. And a lot of times in baseball circles, you'll hear the old schoolers, if you will, like Zimmer, who run into players through the years that maybe they come up with an enormous amount of talent, then they get wrapped up in problems off the field, or maybe they think they're better than they really are, and all of a sudden their production on the field begins to slip. He said Derek Jeter has not changed since day one. And he's got things going for him pretty well, wouldn't you say, Steve? Big Jeter.
Pretty much dialed in there in New York City, isn't he?
A winner.
Very much level-headed, no question about it.
One-two to Justice. Rolls over at foul. It'll stay there. What Joe Torre was talking about with us before the game. He has a good feeling the rest of the way, however long that'll be, about Justice and O'Neill. Struggling during the division series, but showed signs those last 2 games of starting to come around. 2-2. We said it at the time. That walk to Justice very early on in game 4. Sometimes it's something like a walk or just a hard hit line drive right at somebody. It can be a bleeder through the right side that gets you started.
Then he came up with a big home run, as often guys that can hit for power they get one big home run out of them, and then that spurs them on to better offensive numbers, giving you your confidence back. Same thing with O'Neill in yesterday's ball game. Big home run. That's the thing about this Yankee lineup, is there's not anybody in there that you walk up and say, man, this guy's going to crank out 40 to 50 homers, but they can all hit the ball out of the park. They can all do things aside from the power numbers.
Ball 4. And there's another indication that Justice is starting to get locked in again, seeing the ball much better. There were a couple of pitches that he took for balls in that at bat that he would have been swinging at a week ago.
Just jumping at the plate a little bit, swaying towards the pitcher, not keeping his hands back. It's almost always an indication of not being able to see the ball, not picking up the delivery quick enough, and being able to sit back and wait for the ball to get to you before you make your motion to go hit it.
Bernie Williams bounced out to Olerud, hit it right on the nose, but at the Mariner first baseman, ending the opening inning.
Bernie looking like he's making a conscious effort to try to pick up the delivery. Watch him lock in on this ball all the way in to the catcher's glove. I think Bernie might have been taken on that pitch all the way, but he really wanted to get a good look at it, have an idea of what Garcia is going to try to do to him on this at bat, and file it away for the rest of the pitches that he's going to see in this at bat.
Garcia led the American League in earned run average, just the second Mariner ever to lead the AL in that category, the other being Randy Johnson. Fly ball left center field, well hit. Cameron racing back to the track. What a spectacular play by Cameron. And racing back to first is Justin. How about that?
Oh, remember we said he had that play earlier in the game that he could not dive for because he would have been in between. He ended up trapping the ball. He is flying right now into this wall. No fear of running into the wall, knows exactly where it is, puts his hands up, and then watch how quickly he gets the ball back into the infield for the potential double play. Great defense in center field. That ball was hit a ton, and he went a mile to get it. He is going full speed with no fear of that wall. Pretty decent padding out there, and then gets it back in. And no disrespect to Junior, but anybody in this outfield missing King Griffey Jr.? This kid certainly brought his defensive skills with him.
Well, many remember Cameron's first game here at Safeco Field as a Mariner. He took away a home run going over the wall, bringing one bat off the bat of Derek Jeter. And immediately a lot of those Ken Griffey Jr. fans said, well, this guy may not be too bad. 1-1 to Tino Martinez.
As you might say, don't get me wrong, I take Junior on my team.
Oh, yeah.
Give me both of those guys.
Martinez singled to begin the second inning. Scored the first Yankee run. Fouled straight back, 1-2. Clearly, neither pitcher on top of his game through the early part of this one. The difference between the very good pitchers, however, and the great pitchers, going to the mound with less than your best and getting the job done. Two and two.
You know, Tom, we've talked a lot about this Mariner team during this series and how it was crafted around this ballpark and how they turned themselves into a team with a few tremendous superstars into a total team that does things right. Of course, when Griffey left here and when A-Rod left here, they used a lot of that money to sign guys like Boone.
Fly ball, short left, coming hard is Javier, inning over. One man left. We're in the middle of the third. The first defensive gem of the series. Turned in by Mike Cameron. The Yankees lead it 3-0. Bottom half of the third inning. Seattle trailing Mike Mussina and the New York Yankees 3-0. Ichiro to begin things. He'll be followed by Macklemore and Brett Boone. Ichiro, the first Japanese-born position player to play in the major leagues. will turn 28 years old in 4 days from now. Has had a phenomenal year. He takes outside ball one, and the following of Ichiro unrivaled. About 20 members of the media from his homeland of Japan have traveled with him the entire year. He had his differences with many of those members of the media. In fact, along with teammate Kazuhiro Sasaki, they boycotted the Japanese press for a handful of days this year. Now all is well.
Well, that was because there was a relentless pursuit of both of those guys when they were away from the field. There's reports that someone actually tried to get the landlord of the building that they live in to try to get them to get into their apartment. There's reports also of one of the Japanese tabloids offering $2 million to get a quick Polaroid of Ichiro naked.
As some publications are trying with Steve Lyons in Los Angeles, we're told.
That's easy.
Swung on and fouled out of play, third base side. But, you know, all that was going on, and then one day he's backing out of his driveway, and he nearly runs over a camera person from the Japanese press, and he said, this is where things now are getting out of hand. Because if I hurt somebody, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy, and I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm just trying to drive to work. 3-2. Now back out of play.
So both of them basically said, that's it. We're not talking to anyone. Tired of it. Quit chasing us around all the way. Let us do our jobs. I mean, Ichiro is like Elvis. He's like Michael Jordan in Japan. He is the man.
Well, those in Japan will tell you it's almost a cross between a Michael Jordan and, say, the Beatles. I mean, that he is that big. Pick a movie star. That one found back out of play. And to give you an example, let's assume for a second that there's a souvenir stand at Yankee Stadium, but Ichiro plays for the Mariners. In Japan, every stadium in the Japanese league had an Ichiro-only souvenir stand, not just the city where he called home.
Got to get one of those Blue Wave uniforms.
Straightaway center field, hit well. Bernie Williams on the run, can't hang on, and Ichiro will slam on the brakes at second base. A ball that should have been caught by Bernie Williams.
Well, if he is like Elvis, he was trying to leave the building right there. I think that ball surprised Bernie a little bit. Look at the concentration. Not known for his power, especially to the deepest part of this yard. But watch Bernie close his eyes before the ball got there. Watch him if he just closes his eyes. Maybe he's just blinking, but turns his attention away from the ball before he actually tucked it away. Ichiro and ending up on second base.
A two-base error against Bernie Williams. And now McLemore shows bunt, takes a strike.
That was key for the Mariners to get something going with nobody out. Last inning, they got their rally going, and there was 2 outs already. You can't afford a mistake at that situation.
Well, the Yankees believing McLemore is going to bunt. In the air, down the left field line. Knobloch giving chase, crossing into foul territory. He's got it. Not a productive out at all by McLemore. And all the little things the Mariners did during the regular season, leading to 116 wins, by and large, they have not done during the playoffs, including the series, albeit a winning series against Cleveland.
Well, they did what we used to call, when I was with the Chicago White Sox, we called the little things. A lot of people calling it small ball now, doing what you have to do to advance runners. Ichiro on second base with nobody out. You have to get him to third base somehow. Whether you get a single to score him or hit the ball to the right side, he needs to be standing on third base, and that's what they did all year long, and they're not doing it tonight.
Breaking ball inside to Brett Boone, who singled to center field his first time up. Boone looking for his first RBI during the postseason. Good fastball by Mussina, paints the inside corner. 1-1. Fouled back out of play, and Mussina ahead of Brett Boone at 1-2. The Mariners during the regular season as a team hit .296 with runners in scoring position. During the postseason, 5 games against Cleveland, 1 against the Yankees, and now 2 1/3 innings tonight. They're hitting .150, 6 of 40 in those situations. Fly ball, straight away center field. Ichiro tags and will advance on to third. So there, a little thing. McLemore unable to get Ichiro to third. That fly ball would have made it a 3-1 game.
Certainly would. Here's the replay of that ball left out over the middle of the plate. Now, Boone, I don't think anybody lights up bigger than Boone when he sees a pitch he wants to hit. And then he says, I missed it.
Edgar Martinez ended the opening inning, rounding into the double play. Brocious to Soriano to Martinez.
We saw Martinez running the bases yesterday and not doing it well. He's got a growing pull that he's been nursing a little bit. Not the kind of guy at this point is going to be able to beat out an infield hit.
0-1 to Edgar Martinez. The Mariners looking for their first hit with a runner in scoring position in this series. Ichiro at third with 2 away and the 0-1. A ball and a strike.
That's not spelled right, is it? Edgar?
Looked good to me. He thought that pitch looked good until it dropped off the table.
Now, the fact is, Edgar doesn't swing and miss very often, but when you throw a nasty pitch like that, and that was out of the zone, Edgar reaching for that. Usually he swings the bat, he puts his bat on the ball somehow.
1-2 pitch. Puts the bat on the ball and fouls it away this time. There you go.
You need the kids to show us how to spell it right.
Undoubtedly. Ichiro 90 feet away from Seattle's first run of the game. An error by Bernie Williams got him to second. And the 1-2. Too low. Steve, it appears as though Mussina looks a lot sharper in this inning than either of the first 2 innings. You think so?
Well, he's one of those guys that once you let him settle into his rhythm, it gets tougher and tougher on him.
Fly ball straight away center field, should end the inning. And it will. Mussina pitches around the Bernie Williams error. Ichiro stranded at third. We play 3. And the 3-time defending champions lead by 3. Tom Brenneman, Steve Lyons, our entire Fox crew on hand here at Safeco Field in Seattle. 3 runs, 4 hits, 1 error, 2 left for the Yankees. The Mariners, no runs, 3 hits, no errors. They've left 4 men on base. All Yankee runs coming in the second inning. A leadoff single by Martinez, a walk to Posada, 1 out later, a 2-run double by Brocious. And then a 2-out run scoring single by Nabla. And here's Posada. Freddy Garcia delivers strike one. Oh, and 2. Posada coming in, not only 9 hits and 21 at bats, but has now walked 4 times. His on base percentage .520 during the postseason. 1 and 2. Breaking ball in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The Yankees have scored 25 runs during the postseason, including the 3 tonight. Posada has scored 6 times. Fouled off down the first baseline.
And I think this is a big inning right here for Freddy Garcia to establish whether or not he's going to be around in this game come the 6th, 7th, and 8th inning. He's already given up the 3 runs. Can't really afford to give up any more, especially since the fact that Seattle hasn't scored any. They have to get back in the game offensively, and Garcia needs to keep the Yankees right where they are.
Good change of pace here by Garcia, and Posada gone on strikes. Don't forget Sunday, our Fox NFL doubleheader gets underway with America's #1 pregame show. JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris will get you ready for kickoff. Then the Rams will battle the Jets, followed by Brett Favre and the Packers taking on the Vikings in a key NFC Central Division matchup or other regional action. Coverage begins noon Eastern, 9 Pacific on Fox. Some of the Yanks getting ready for a little football prior to tonight's game. Base hit into center field by Paul O'Neill.
Yeah, there's Andy Pettit after his start, throwing a perfect spiral to Roger Clemens. Clemens over to Posada. Nobody works harder than Roger Clemens. Nobody can stick with Roger Clemens in his off-day workouts. Having that football out there just makes your work a little bit more fun.
Well, Clemens and Pettit, both native Texans, and they love their football in Texas.
Pettit is one of the guys that will spend some time with Roger Clemens working out in the offseason. Most guys won't because they can't handle the routine. Can't stick with them.
Roger telling us before the game today he wants to hear about his son Cody, who has a big freshman football game tonight. He wanted to make sure he was on the horn, making sure somebody's videotaping that thing, because he wants to see it.
He's going to be a big kid too.
Oh yeah.
You got Roger as your dad.
1-1. Of course, who was the old pitching coach? Tom House, wasn't it? The old Ranger pitching coach who was a big believer in throwing the football in between starts for pitchers.
He thought the motion was the same, and the way the ball left your fingertips was good work. Of course, the numbers didn't prove out to be all that well for that pitching staff during those seasons.
1-1 to Brocious, who had a 2-run double in the second inning. He waves through that one. And Garcia beginning to mix in more of the off-speed stuff.
And he's getting the ball and going back to the mound and throwing more often. Look at the movement on that pitch. It runs right in on the hands of Brocious, and then Garcia, I think, with a little bit more confidence, getting the ball, stepping in, and getting ready to throw it again. Did not like his body language for the first few innings of the game. Looked very lethargic out there.
Breaking ball just off the outside corner.
Now, so many people, sometimes when you see a bad pitch and guys swing at it, they're like, how do you swing at that pitch? Well, how do you lay off of that pitch? That's filthy right there. I just don't know how you just don't swing at that. You see it, you got to put it in play, then it starts breaking away from you way too late for you really to recognize it. That's great discipline.
Oh, they did get O'Neill.
See, Tommy, this isn't even really a pickoff move. He hasn't even gone into his mugs and just got a quick pick, and O'Neill was going the wrong way. That's just a little jump turn hello. I'm going to say, I know you're over there. And they get him. Olerud tagging him on the back leg, but snuck that tag in there just before O'Neill got his front foot into the base.
Swing and a miss, and that'll end the inning. So O'Neill playing with the stress fracture. Slow to get back to the bag. One hit, nobody left after 3.5. Still the Yankees by 3. Wearing a microphone, our Fox sounds of the game at first base.
There's Lee Mazzilli right there
have a
talking.
good move over here, so he made a good sized lead, but he's 1-2, okay? Quick to the plate. All right, buddy? Let's get a good sized lead. Your call.
He's telling O'Neill that he doesn't have a good move, but he's very quick to home plate. And then O'Neill just falls asleep there, headed the wrong way, and then very lazily gets back to first, and he gets picked off.
3-0 Yankees lead. John Olerud hops it up. Third base side. Brocious waves off Jeter. Second at bat in a row by Olerud, who generally is a patient hitter. He has seen 2 pitches and 2 at bats and has popped up twice.
Well, it's kind of a double-edged sword when you're a team that knows that Mike Mussina is going to be around the plate, and they know that he likes to get ahead with fastballs, and you have to go up there and be aggressive. But at the same time, you come back to the bench and you've had 2 at-bats and you've only seen 2 pitches. Sometimes you say, man, what am I doing? You get caught in between. If you had 2 base hits on 2 pitches, though, you'd be happy.
Living right. And there's a strike to Mike Cameron. Cameron hit the ball hard his only time up in the second inning. It sent Knobloch to the warning track. Speaking of going to the warning track, Cameron making the play of the night, and so far anyway, through a game and a half, the play of the series. If you weren't with us here, it was in the 3rd inning.
Cameron just got a great jump on this ball for Bernie Williams' bat. Look how quickly he goes to the wall, and without fear goes up against the wall and catches it. Reached out with his throwing hand to just protect himself against the wall as he was trying to catch it. Just feeling for it out there.
You know, he kept flexing that right hand a little bit, Steve, throughout the remainder of that inning, and then coming back into the bench. He gets hit with a pitch. Now he'll be flexing that elbow.
He's going to be doing a lot of flexing. This ball, Cameron doesn't do a whole lot to get out of the way. It's just a ball up in the zone, tailing in, and bounces off his left elbow. Cameron just pretty much turned right into that. Anything to get on. You're going to remember the speed of Cameron. They need him on the bases.
Cameron, 34 stolen bases during the season, was only thrown out 5 times. And here's Javier. Javier and Wilson, the next 2 batters, have had 2 of the best at bats in the game against Mussina. Each going deep into the count. 9 pitch at bats for both Javier and Wilson. Hammered into right center field. Bernie Williams looks up. Goodbye. regular season. Makes it a one-run game.
Well, the entire Mariner team has been trying to talk him out of retirement. He said he's going to go to the house, spend more time with his family and his kids. And huge postseason home run right there for Javier. This is a guy that's not known to hit a lot of balls out of the park. As you mentioned, just 4 on the year. But watch the balance, the concentration, the head down. And that's just a fastball out over the plate that's easily hittable. But he drives it to the deepest part of this ballpark and out. The reaction from the boys in the dugout that couldn't have come at a better time. They needed a little help.
2-0 to Dan Wilson. Pops it up, short right. O'Neill is there, 2 away.
You kind of get the feeling in this game that the Yankees are just kind of cruising through it, feeling good about what they're doing, not trying to wake up a sleeping dog in the Mariners. But good signs if you're a Mariner fan when you see Garcia get through the inning like he did, finally starting to settle down and pitch a little bit better, and then a big 2-run homer to finally get on the board.
Now David Bell, who hit 15 home runs during the regular season. Breaking ball in there, a strike. That was a pitch you were talking about earlier that Bell said he was looking for. Javier with the fewest home runs during the regular season of anybody in the Mariner lineup tonight. Check swing and a miss, and it's 0-2.
See Javier there on the bench saying what pitch he hit. Hold your hand up, pull it back towards you. That usually means change up, and that one just hung.
Oh, 2 to Bell. Breaking ball rolled over, foul. So Javier, who had a 9-pitch at bat his first time up, to draw a walk. Hammers a 1-0 pitch to the seats. Again, the 0-2 to Bell. Bounces up there, ball and 2 strikes.
It's the worst part of a catcher's job. Nobody's on base, no threat of anyone stealing, and you still have to get down and block a pitch in the dirt just because it's your job. And that hurts.
Yeah. 1-2 to Bell. 2-2.
Say a lot of catchers are looking for any kind of edge in the game, more so than anything else. You know, Posada could olay that pitch in the dirt and say, I'm not going to get down and block this one. But a lot of guys, more than anything else, will do that to protect the umpire. Maybe a little bit of an edge with the relationship back there. Hey, I'll protect you. You help us out a little bit.
3-2. Ichiro waits in the on-deck circle. Bell foul behind in the count, 0-2. And now it's gone full.
And last time this happened, this is when Mussina started throwing fastball after fastball.
Popped up. Down to third baseline. Jeter pulled off by Knobloch. And the inning is over. But Stan Javier brings them to their feet. A 2-run home run to deep right center field. End of 4. It's a 1-run affair. Down the left field line. Stern a bit more now. At Safeco Field in Seattle. Capacity crowd for the second consecutive day. And it's a 1-run game as Soriano swings and misses the first pitch in the 5th inning from Freddy Garcia. It's only been one bad inning for Garcia. He gave up 3 runs, 3 hits in the second. He's not allowed more than 1 hit in any of the other 3 innings. Good sharp breaking ball there, and it's 0-2.
starting to settle down now. I think he has a little more confidence in his abilities now. He used to really get down. One of the bad things about his performances is if something would go wrong, it would affect him for the rest of the ballgame. They said he'd gotten a lot better at that.
That's plain nasty right there. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night on Soriano.
Curveball, curveball, curveball. See you later.
It's time now for our multi-award winning rendition of the MasterCard Fan Cam.
Little cool jazz for you. Because that's all you, Tommy.
Oh, yeah. The Mariner Moose cap, a must-have at Safeco Field. You were seen sporting one of those allegedly. Earlier today, no one can confirm that yay or nay.
What do you mean a must-have just at a Mariners game? The Mariner Moose hat is a must-have regardless, a staple in your wardrobe. Is that Jay Buhner? That's getting into it right there.
They used to have that promotion over at the Kingdome every year. Jay Buhner shave your head night.
Buzz cut night.
Yeah, if you'd shave your head, you'd get in for free.
The funny thing was they usually had a bunch of women show up for the promotion.
1-1 to Chuck Knobloch. Knobloch off to a great start in this American League Championship Series. 3 hits and RBI, a pair of singles and a double in 5 at-bats here yesterday. 2 for 2 here tonight. A pair of singles and a run batted in. And right now his base hit the difference in the game.
I think it's really important for Garcia and how he responds to that inning. Get his team back into the dugout so they can hit again.
Breaking ball hit off the end of the bat by Knobloch. Two balls, 2 strikes to Chuck Knobloch. And Garcia turns it loose. Full count.
Now, there's a lot of people in Seattle that think Freddy Garcia looks like the Rock of WWF fame.
And as our friends at the New York Stock Exchange would tell you, they had a big earnings report today. Let's go to Jeannie Zalasko for a game break.
A big NLCS report. The Braves escaped Arizona, Tom, with a win, but they will not escape Curt Schilling. He's followed them to Atlanta for the Game 3 start. The NLCS continues at 8 Eastern Friday on Fox. The series tied 1 game apiece, Tom.
Jeannie, thank you. We're going to be there. Fly all night and get to hot Atlanta for the hottest pitcher so far in either league in the playoffs, Curt Schilling. 2 starts, 2 complete games, 1 run.
And I know there's a major player in this series that doesn't want to see us go.
Short right field, a long run for Ichiro. He's not going to get it. And advancing on to second is Knobloch. So Jeter just dumps one in short right, and the Yankees have 2 on with only 1 out.
Now, the reason why this play is so hard is because Ichiro can't get it, but Booney playing in, and it's such a long run for him to get. If he's playing normal depth, he can go out there and probably make the play on that ball. He's saying, go ahead. No one's going to catch that ball. Jeter's saying, move up, everybody. just talking about the guy who does not want to see us leave, Joe Torre. Every time we come in to talk to him before the game, he says, hey, there's the good luck charms. The Yankees have not lost a game since we started doing their games. We're leaving you, though, Joe. You're on your own.
Catch on the flip side. Their luck's been pretty good, though, for the last 3 years.
Without us,
right. 2 on, 1 out. Ball 1 to David Justice. These are big, big moments right now for Freddy Garcia, as Norm Charlton will apparently begin to throw in the bullpen. Yes, he will. Brian Price, the pitching coach, phoning down to the bullpen. 1-0 to Justice. On the ground, this could be 2. There's 1. And that's a double play. Welcome back to Safeco Field in Seattle. A 1-run game. Top of the order coming up for the Mariners. Ichiro has been aboard twice. He singled and reached on an error by Bernie Williams. First pitch swinging down the left field line. Knobloch, a good jump. 1 pitch and 1 out for Mussina.
Now Ichiro obviously has one of the more unusual swings in the game, but he keeps his bat through the hitting zone for as long as anybody in baseball. Watch how long this bat stays in the hitting zone. Hit that ball hard, but not exactly where he wanted it to be.
Ichiro now 2 of 7 in the series. McLemore flied out to left in the opening inning. And we talked about it at the time. After Bernie Williams dropped the fly ball in deep left center field that Ichiro hit to begin the 3rd inning. Ichiro winding up at third base, or second base, pardon me. And McLemore was unable to hit something to the right side to get him down to third. Ichiro wound up being stranded at third. He'd like to have that chance again. 1-2.
Well, McLemore said he was going to look for fastballs to hit. Hope that his team would force Mussina to throw his other pitches for strikes. Jump on that fastball really gets the guy thinking, I better throw something else up there. And if he can't throw that for a strike, then you can be in trouble and in for a long night.
1-2 coming to Mark McLemore. 2-2. Mussina's allowed 2 runs, 4 hits. That's as many hits as he allowed in 7 innings in a 1-0 victory over the A's, beating Barry Zito in Game 3 over the weekend. He's walked 1, hit about it, and struck out only 1. Fly ball, right center field. O'Neill over to get it. 2 away. Now this series will shift back to the Bronx and Yankee Stadium for Game 3 on Saturday, an afternoon affair. It gets started at 4 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Pacific. Pitching matchup in that one. Jamie Moyer, 2-0, was outstanding in the division series against Cleveland. Against El Duque, who allowed 10 base runners in 5 2/3 innings in the Game 4 win over Oakland, but only gave up 2 runs. Boone trying to tie it with 1 swing of the bat. He comes up empty. Popped up. Right side of the infield, so the top of the order set down in order by Mussina. We go to the 6th, still a 1-run Yankee lead. On 1 swing of the bat by Stan Javier in the 4th. Bernie Williams bounced out to first, ending the first. Then had at least a double, if not more, taken away on the leaping grab up against the wall by Cameron back in the third. He shows bunt and looks at a strike. Williams off to a very slow start in this postseason. 4 hits and 23 at bats. He has 5 runs batted in, but as we mentioned, all 5 RBIs came in one game. That was the Game 4 win in Oakland. Two balls and a strike.
Bernie told me that on a breaking ball he had to sit down on his back legs. That's a breaking ball right there. You see him kind of crouching down.
Garcia came back with a fastball that time, and Williams late, 2-2.
Bernie had an interesting way to describe what he's thinking about. He says, when I see elevation from the pitch, when a guy throws a fastball, it comes at you almost straight. When a guy throws a curveball, the ball elevates up out of his hand. There's a different elevation to the pitch. And Bernie says, if I can recognize that, the first thing I try to tell myself at the plate is sit back down.
Full count.
Curveball is going to come in quite a bit slower than a guy's good hard fastball. So he certainly has time to make that adjustment in his swing. For him, he says, I just have to sit down on my back leg if I see it's a breaking ball so I didn't get out in front of myself and start lunging at pitches.
Count of 3-2. Our score is 3-2. Chopped foul. Ball girl gave that little fella the ball, and now they're going to debate who gets to keep it. One's a right-hander, the other's a left-hander, and both great debaters right now.
Yeah, but you got one last time we came.
Foul back out of play. We'll do it again at 3-2. Who do you think wins that argument?
They both do, because when you play catch with the ball, then technically it's both of theirs, right?
Look at him eyeing it, though.
Yeah, he said, I know as soon as Jimmy falls to sleep, I'll steal it from him. That's like, that guy's like a young Mike Piazza right there.
He does, doesn't he? Or Mike Hampton a little bit, too. Yeah,
Freddy, you got it!
Strike 3 called. You can tell Garcia is feeling it, coming with a 3-2 breaking ball in the outside corner. Coming this fall, Fox presents Kiefer Sutherland in 24. And believe what you've heard, TV Guide says Fox's 24 is 24-karat entertainment. On edge of the seedier Pants Thriller. That's the series premiere of 24, coming Tuesday, November 6th, right here on Fox. Breaking ball in there, strike 1 to Tino Martinez.
This game right here is turning into a seedier pants thriller.
1-run ball game. Garcia throwing his 80th pitch of the night, and it nearly hit it. Back into center field. Second hit and 3 at bats for Tino Martinez.
Well, this is your classic chuck and duck. Watch this ball out over the middle of the plate. Tino sends it right back at the box, and Garcia, tough time getting out of the way. Look at the balance of Tino. That's a beautiful swing. Tino with his eyes. Look at the eyes and the concentration. His head's down, straight back up the middle. The only way Garcia can make a play on that is if he charged it, maybe.
That's what they teach you, don't you?
Yeah. Charge those kind, right. I didn't even see it whiz by me.
Tino with as many hits in the game tonight and 3 at-bats as he had in 22 at-bats during the postseason coming into this. Ball 1 to Jorge Posada. Posada walked and scored in the 2nd inning. Struck out against Garcia in the 4th. Garcia's fanned 4. He's walked 3. Allowed 3 runs, 7 hits. Two and 0.
That's a good pitch right there, though, Tom. That's what he's trying to do, like last inning when he got in a little bit of trouble with Justice at the plate. Looking for the double play ball, you have to throw the sinker down in the zone if you're going to go to your breaking ball or your changeup. All those pitches have to be down. That's a good place to miss where that last pitch was.
Good live fastball there. A strike. Garcia is a horse. Just turned 25, as we mentioned. He led the league not only in earned run average, but also opponent's batting average and innings pitched. Threw over 228 innings on the season. Former Yankee Jeff Nelson beginning to crank it up in the Mariner bullpen. Breaking ball fouled out of play by Posada.
Garcia got away with one on that pitch. That ball hung a little bit. Posada looked like he was looking for a breaking ball. He was all over it and just fouled it off. Look at the grip of the curve ball. You see the ball tumble. You see the spin of it. Posada right on it and just missed it. Now, you can take a great swing. You can do everything right and still not hit the ball. Hand-eye coordination, baby. That's what this game's all about.
2-2. Fastball up and in. O'Neill waits in the on-deck circle. Garcia the pause, and now to 2-2. Want to go. Swing and a miss. Throw to second. Inning ending. Double play.
That's why they got Danny Wilson over here, and that's what Lou Piniella liked when he saw him. Watch how quick his feet are. Get rid of the ball. Kiss him goodbye.
One loss, so what, say the Mariner fans. Trailing by a game in this American League Championship Series. Bottom half of the 6th inning of Game 2, and the Yankees with a 1-run lead.
Yeah, one loss, so what? That's because the Mariners dropped the first game of a series this year 16 times. Came back to tie or win that series 11 times during the year.
Martinez, Olerud, and Cameron do up. Hammered foul. No activity in the New York Yankees bullpen. Mussina's only given up 4 hits. The big one, the home run by Javier. After Mussina hit Mike Cameron on the left elbow with a pitch in front of him. Two and 2 on Edgar Martinez.
Edgar's struggling a little bit physically. We talked about the groin pull that he has. The thing that I don't like about the at-bats that I've seen from him so far is that he's pulling a lot of balls. Edgar probably has the best inside-out swing in all of baseball. Derek Jeter might be a close second as you see Roger Clemens. Martinez, for the most part, loves to hit the ball the other way, and he's pulling a lot of balls so far in this series.
Rolls over that one, pulling it foul. You see him shaking his head.
Now, we talked about it in game one as well, that Edgar Martinez is also one of the best in the game at cheating and pulling the ball when he needs to and pulling it out of the ballpark. Once you think he's going to go the other way, you try to get in on him, and he yanks one down the line.
Gone swinging. Second strikeout of the night by Mussina. Time to take a look at the Mariners in-game box score, brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange. They've had runners out there. They had 2 on with 1 out in the opening inning. Martinez hit into a double play ending that frame. They left 2 on in the second. Had a runner at second with nobody out in the third. Got the 2-run homer by Javier in the fourth. 6 in a row now set down by Mussina. Ball 1 to John Olerud.
See the postseason numbers for Olerud really struggling. Him and Boone. A couple of the guys in the middle of that order that all year long have produced. Not getting it done so far in the postseason.
They're combined 6 for 49. Olerud and Boone. Fastball just off the inside corner. Mussina, one of the call didn't get it as a left-hander. Mike Stanton begins to throw for the Yankees. They only needed 1 inning of relief of Andy Pettitte yesterday, and that came from Mariano Rivera, as Mussina is 3 pitches shy of the century mark. It's no big deal, however, for him. They're not hitting anything hard against Mussina here the last couple of innings. Jeter drifts into short left, 2 away.
Well, 4th inning for Cameron. He gets hit in the elbow. And then Stanley Javier taking him deep on a hanging changeup. Maybe rethinking the retirement. You hit balls like that, that makes you feel like hanging around for a little while longer. Why am I quit?
It's like when you're birdie 18. Stunk it up all day long, but boy, I'm good.
You'll come back tomorrow.
That's right.
When was the last time you birdied 18?
I would never know that feeling. It's all a dream. Oh, and 1 to Cameron, who hit 25 home runs during the regular season. On the outside, Black from Mussina. 0-2.
We call him a control freak, and this is why. Look at Posada's glove. Doesn't even move. Not a smidgen. Boy, that's a tremendous feeling of power. Not to be the pitcher in this case, but to be the catcher. When you set your glove up anywhere you want it and the pitcher hits it, you feel like you're really good. Forget about what he's doing out there. Posada's sitting back there thinking, man, I'm putting down the right fingers all the time. I move around, he hits the glove. I'm good.
Mendoza. We saw the right-hander joining Stanton, the lefty, in the Yankee pen. And here's a 1-2. Struck him out on a fastball, and that'll end the inning. Mussina's fan 3 has set down 8 in a row. We'll return to Seattle after a break from your local station. Yankees still lead it by a run.
Show you how easy Posada is to throw to. Look at how quickly he moves outside. Here's his setup. There's not things sticking out. There's no kneecaps out there, no elbows, none of that stuff. A great block to throw the pitch to. He sets up the target early, and you hit the target. Roger Clemens talks a lot about the respect that he has for Posada behind the plate. It's easy to see why.
O'Neill brushes Soriano against Garcia in the 7th. Breaking ball, strike 1.
A lot of pitchers also don't like catchers that will move late. You gotta kind of have a happy medium, because you don't want to set up so early that the hitter can feel where you're at back there. You You can't turn around and peek at him because you'll catch a ball in your ear hole. But sometimes as a hitter, you can kind of feel where the catcher's setting up.
O'Neill chasing a pitch up on the 0-1, and now he's behind 0-2, and O'Neill's still upset with Wally Bell about that strike one pitch. Freddy Garcia working on 3 days rest. He allowed 3 runs and 3 hits in the second inning.
O'Neill talking to himself, trying to get himself and his concentration back into this at-bat.
Whoa. That'll get your concentration back in a hurry.
There's Zim checking it out. This is some classic chin music right there. Look out. That's a purpose pitch. Would not be surprised right here if Garcia comes back with a changeup down and away.
Could that be from O'Neill arguing so long about that strike one pitch?
I don't think Garcia wants to stand out there and listen to O'Neill argue about balls that are called strikes against him. There's the changeup. Nobody fishing.
O'Neill 38 years young. And Freddy Garcia just turned 25. Well, they're staring down one another as we open the 7th inning. Yankees lead by a run, and Garcia going to work. Here's a 2-2. Shot foul.
Who got the foul ball this time?
She did. Or maybe those little guys gave it away. They did give it to her, we're told.
Isn't that nice?
2-2 again. Rolled over to the right side. Charging Boone. Gets a handle on it. 1 away. Time to take a look at our Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by the New York Stock Exchange. The big blows coming in the second inning. A 2-run double by Brocious, an RBI single by Knobloch. Look at Knobloch. 3 hits yesterday, Steve. He's been on base 3 times tonight.
Those guys are getting balls right and left, so they're sharing the wealth.
Well, that is wonderful.
Who says we have to worry about today's youth?
Not here.
Kid's working on his spitter.
Yeah.
I think he was just licking the cotton candy off his fingers.
See, that's a hazing tactic those 2 use. They load the hands up with a cotton candy and then give the ball away. And whoever gets it has it stuck to the palm of their hand the rest of them. Look at that guy. What in the world's he?
He's got an entire meal. What did he do? Go across the street somewhere? Look at a knife and a fork and a big plate of potatoes.
0-2. Breaking ball away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Daddy Wags over here. His mouth is watering now. Look at that. Need some spaghetti. Look at this guy looking at him saying, man, I'm hungry. I'd love a bite of that.
Look at that other guy. Keeps peeking over. Fastball, strike 3 call. O'Neill unhappy with strike 1 in his at bat. Brocious not pleased on the strike 3 call.
Maybe the zone's getting a little bit wider, but Garcia's also proved that he's been hitting those spots. Fastball away, nasty on the black. Danny Wilson, another great catcher to throw to. You frame the pitch, you show the umpire where it was, and Brocious doesn't like it.
Well, these fans here in the Pacific Northwest, they know their baseball, they love their baseball, and they're chanting, Freddy, Freddy. They know he's come back on 3 days rest, and he's turned in a solid effort here tonight. to Soriano.
I'll tell you, one of the things that I'm always very impressed with in postseason baseball is the lack of arguing about balls and strikes with the players and the umpires. During the regular season, sometimes you guys get in each other's faces. You get guys kicked out of the game. Some professionalism being exercised in the postseason for the most part.
That one just off the corner. Roche is still unhappy with a call by Wally Bell, the home plate umpire. Soriano is 0 for 2. 2 down, nobody on. We're in the 7th. That ball hit hard, but right at Javier. Javier homered back in the 4th inning. He will lead off the 7th. Will be followed by Wilson and David Bell. We're going to keep it right here. The 3-time defending world champion Yankees lead the Mariners. Middle of the 7th, 3-2. Bottom half of the 7th inning, Safeco Field in Seattle. The Yankees lead game 2 in this ALCS. 3-2. Surprise, surprise. Mike Mussina taken down in favor of Ramiro Mendoza.
Well, Joe Torre never afraid to go to his bullpen, especially when you have Mendoza and Rivera.
Shane Spencer takes over for Paul O'Neill in right, and we say surprise, surprise. Joe Torre knows his pitching staff better than anyone, but Mussina was throwing his best baseball of the night since giving up the home run to Javier. He retired the last 8 batters he faced, and there wasn't a hard hit ball in the bunch.
I've said this before, and I think a lot of guys think this way. When you're facing a pitcher that's been very tough on you, sometimes even if you're going to go to a closer like Rivera or Mendoza here is outstanding, sometimes it's the opposing team. You say, hey, bring him on. We're not hitting that other guy. Maybe Mendoza comes out here without his best stuff. We can eke out a walk, a little bloop base hit, and score some runs somehow. Bring on the next guy, because the other guy was doing us in.
2-1 to Stan Javier. And a strike 2 call on the outside corner. Javier reached base twice against Mussina. He walked in the 2nd at the 2-run home run to deep right center in the 4th. Garcia, 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs. Shot down to first. Martinez to the bag, 1 away.
Mendoza made an appearance in Game 5 of the divisionals against Oakland. Came in for an inning, and his stuff was electric. Lights out for the inning that he pitched. And then, of course, Joe brought Rivera in for the 2-inning save. We were kind of questioning, wow, why not just send Mendoza back out there for 1 more, then let Rivera come in for the 1. I've learned over these years with Joe Torre at the helm of the New York Yankees, you don't question too many of the moves he makes, especially when it deals with his bullpen.
And especially in the playoffs. Been an unbelievable Yankee run. Their last postseason series loss, the division series to Cleveland in '97, and Wilson shoots one into right field, and the tying run aboard. The go-ahead run comes to the plate here in the Seattle 7th. It's time to take a look at our game summary, brought to you by Nissan. Both starters outstanding here tonight. Roches, the 2-run double. Knobloch, a run-scoring single, and the 3-run Yankee second. And Javier, 4 home runs during the regular year. His first career postseason bomb came with a man aboard in the 4th. David Bell 0 for 2. Fastball, strike 1. Joe Torre did tell us that he may not want to use Rivera for 2 full innings tonight, but he may lean on Rivera for 4 or 5 outs tonight.
He did say the day off helps him out a little bit with that decision. Doesn't want to have to run him out there, but Joe Torre, as we talked to him today about his philosophy, especially in the postseason, the guy just goes for the jugular. He goes for the win the best way he can get it without taking any chances. Even in last night's ball game with Pettit kind of cruising through, he said, I don't care. I'm going to my bullpen. I'm going to the guy that I know is going to nail it down for me, and I'm not taking any chances that it might slip away.
Breaking ball fouled off. It remains 0-2 to David Bell.
There is Pettit. Great outing yesterday.
Allowed only 3 hits and 1 run, walking 1, fanning 7. Rivera, remember, gave up a run in the 9th inning. A double to Ichiro and a couple of wild pitches scored it. Oh, 2. Fouled off again. You saw Stanton sitting and watching. Down in the Yankee bullpen, you have the left-handed batting Ichiro waiting in a on-deck circle.
Ichiro with more than 700 plate appearances this season.
Broken bat roller left side. Brocious only plays to first. He gets the out of Bell. That bat littered all over the infield for the tying run in scoring position. And Ichiro coming up. Don't forget a Fox NFL Sunday doubleheader beginning this weekend with America's #1 pregame show. Then it'll be Kurt Warner in the high-powered Rams offense against Curtis Martin and the Jets. And then later on, Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers take on Randy Moss and the Vikings. 4 other regional action. Coverage begins noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, right here on Fox. Ichiro with runners in scoring position hit .445, and with that in mind, they're going to intentionally walk it. It is rare that you will ever see the potential go-ahead run intentionally walked. But Joe Torre knows all the numbers. He'll talk on and on and on, as he's done with us the last couple of days, about this electrifying young player for the Mariners. Look at those numbers. Runners in scoring position and 2 men out. .468.
You just don't see numbers like that. Anytime you see averages up over anything over 320 in that area, you're very, very happy. .468. I mean, Tom, how often do you see even 4s in those positions on your batting averages? Never.
Two on, 2 out. The Mariners down a run, and here's McLemore. Good breaking ball by Mendoza. Strike 1.
2 advantages for the Mariners in this situation. Now with Ichiro on first and McLemore presumably with a little more pop. The outfielders will play a little deeper. It'll be a tougher play at home on a base hit. Plus with 2 outs, Wilson runs with the crack of the bat. Wilson can get a bigger lead out there at second base because none of the middle infielders are worried at all about him. Not going to be stealing. They don't have to worry about holding him on. That gives him more freedom to get a bigger lead. And with 2 outs, he does not have to hesitate at all when the ball's hit. He's running.
1-1. Outside. 2 balls and a strike. The Mariners tonight 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position. As you get a look at the numbers, McLemore far better left-handed than right-handed. The Mariners through the first 2 games of this series 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. 3 balls and a strike with Brett Boone waiting.
Mendoza really struggling with the control, struggling with the movement of his fastball. That ball really tailed away and out of the strike zone. Sometimes you can't keep it over the plate.
You know you have Boone in the on-deck circle. You tell McLemore to take here 3-1 or no?
Absolutely not. Boone's not swinging the bat all that well, and Boone might not get into the position to have a 3-1 count. This is the best pitch of the day to hit.
On the outside corner, McLemore unsure about the call from Wally Bell, a borderline pitch.
Look at the movement on the pitch. Watch how this runs way out of the strike zone or out to the outside part of the strike zone. He gets called to strike. Tailing away from McLemore. He didn't want to chase it out there. Good discipline by McLemore.
Now the runners get started on 3-2. So you talked about the jump. Already to the advantage of Wilson, anything put in play. Ichiro might be the fastest man in the major leagues.
And if there's any kind of gap baller, if you have to make the outfielders move, he may score.
On the ground, Tino Martinez in the inning comes to an end. Mendoza got into trouble and pitches out of trouble. We go to the 8th. Yankees 3, Mariners 2. Change back in Manhattan. Here we go in the 8th inning. 3-2. The Yankees in front, top of the order, and Freddy Garcia delivers strike one, his 101st pitch of the game.
Ordinarily, that wouldn't be a problem, but considering he's back on 3 days rest, it's a little bit more of a concern.
Although he has been so impressive here tonight. Arthur Rhodes, a left-hander, getting ready in the bullpen. Undoubtedly, should Garcia run into any trouble by the time Justice and Bernie Williams and Tino and company come up there. You saw the pitches per inning by Garcia. Justice due up third. Hit hard, but right at Javier. He's got it shy of the track. Time for a game break. Let's go to Los Angeles and Jeannie's Alaska.
Tom, Javi Lopez was not even supposed to be in Arizona, let alone swinging the bat in the postseason because of a nasty ankle sprain. But with one swing on a Wednesday night, he turned the Braves postseason around with a 2-run home run, break a tie game, and bring about a tie in the NLCS. Game 3, Friday on Fox at 8 Eastern.
Jeannie, thank you. We'll be there for that one. For Schilling and John Burkett. With Schilling already a couple of wins in the postseason, both coming against St. Louis, including the Game 5 clincher, and Burkett beat Houston. We're in the top half of the 8th inning. The Yankees scored 3 times in the 2nd inning. Freddy Garcia, and that's been it. Against the native Venezuelan. Tino Martinez singled. Jorge Posada walked. 1 out later. Scott Brocious, a 2-run double down a left field line. And then a 3rd run scored in the inning on a single by Knobloch. Mike Mussina, the starter, went 6 innings tonight for New York. Allowed 4 hits, 2 runs. The 2 runs coming in the 4th. He hit Mike Cameron with a pitch with 1 out. And then Stan Javier hit his first career postseason home run to right center. 1-1 to Jeter. Inside. Ramiro Mendoza came on in the 7th inning. Seattle left 2 aboard. I tell you, this Yankee bullpen, and you talk to Joe Torre, you can talk about all the clutch plays that guys like Jeter and O'Neill and Bernie Williams and company have made through the years. But you talk to Joe Torre and he'll tell you, as much to do with it as anything else, more so to do with it than just about anything else, that bullpen. Well, I'm amazed, Steve, some of the people I've heard say a bullpen in the playoffs doesn't make a big deal. Don't ever tell that guy that.
I'd like to talk to the guy that says that.
Yeah, I mean, it just boggles the mind. Go ask Lou Piniella about that bullpen he had in Cincinnati. That one taken down low, ball 4 to Jeter. And that's going to do it for Freddy Garcia. Time for our AT&T call to the bullpen. The left-hander Arthur Rhodes will come on to face David Justice. And what an effort tonight by Freddy Garcia.
He struggled early on. It didn't look like he had his good stuff or his confidence, and then he settled in and ended up with an excellent outing, kept his team in the game in order to win.
Back to sold-out Safeco Field in Seattle. We figured on a low-scoring ball game in this Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Both starting pitchers, outstanding work. Freddy Garcia giving way after 7 1/3 innings. Mike Mussina went 6. 3 3 runs in the Yankees' second, 2 runs for the Mariners in the fourth. And now Arthur Rhodes will try and shake off the demons from the postseason against the Yankees from a season ago.
And what a big postseason home run will do for you. David Justice not playing against the left-handers in the division series, now stays in the game to face Rhodes.
Rhodes in last year's league championship series against the Yankees, 0-1. In 2 innings, allowed 8 hits and 7 runs, also walked 4. We saw those numbers, however, a moment ago. He had a sensational regular season this year. One out of Justice. In the air, right center field. Cameron waving off Ichiro. 2 away in the inning. Sounded like Justice may have broken his back.
May have?
Oh, I didn't even see it break. I wasn't even looking. I'm sorry. I think he did.
How many bats have we seen? And not just cracked bats. I mean shattered into pieces. Watch this. This is called getting seriously in your kitchen. Right off the hands, the bat cracks and splinters and breaks into about 3 pieces.
I was watching the ball. It was just a sound of the bat. Oh. You think he did break it?
I'm here to help you out. Yeah, I think he did. I don't think he'll be using that one next time.
2 down in the inning, and now they'll turn around Bernie Williams, who grounded out to first, had at least a double, if not more than that, taken away on a leaping grab, crashing into the wall in the 3rd inning by Mike Cameron. And then Williams looked at strike 3 against Freddy Garcia in the 6th. Garcia cannot win it. He can lose it. He's hoping for a no decision, and his team come back to win it.
Of course, Omar Vizquel does not play for the Yankees, plays for the Cleveland Indians. And that's why Arthur Rhodes is able to sport the earrings tonight, I guess.
You were here that day. Yes. Fox Saturday game of the week.
Beautiful Saturday afternoon with the roof open, and the glare from the earring off of Arthur Rhodes was distracting Omar Vizquel, and he said, take it out. Rhodes wasn't too happy about it. There was a brawl. Here comes Omar. Omar wants a piece of him.
He wants no piece of him.
I got you.
You agree with me on that?
Absolutely right.
Are you kidding me?
Both benches emptied. Rhodes actually got kicked out of that game.
Arthur saying later he wears them to remember his 2 children by. You know, it's the first time he'd been called on it all year long. Started to take him out and had a few words for Vizquel, but that would not be a good matchup for Omar Vizquel. I'm not sure anybody's a good matchup against Arthur Rhodes.
I got a 3-year-old that might be able to take Omar. Just kidding, Omar. He's tough and a great player.
2-1. Line into right field by Bernie Williams. Ichiro over to cut it off before it gets to the wall. Jeter on his way to third base. They're going to hold him there. And a single by Bernie Williams. Williams not wanting to take the chance of running out of the inning.
Good job, and that's Ichiro again. Look how quickly this ball gets to the outfield. Ichiro flying over there to pick it up. Watch the form and how he balances himself, the spin move, squares himself back up. Misses the first cutoff man, but Olrud's right there. Boy, reminiscent of the play that Jeter made. If this ball goes over everybody's head, but boy, that is a good, strong, fundamentally sound throwing motion for Ichiro.
And the one thing by Bernie Williams not going to second does, it forces Olrud to hold Bernie Williams on at first. Big hole over on the right side for the left-handed batting Martinez. Ball 1 low and away. There you get a look at that right side.
I just think it's amazing how the word traveled so fast. Not only that Ichiro could hit to 350 on the season, but his defensive abilities. And everybody knows about it, and everyone's very cautious when they hit the ball anywhere near where he's playing.
One 1-0 on Tino Martinez, who's 2 of 3 in the game. Off the outside corner. Whereas Garcia still responsible for Jeter at second base, but so far charged with just the 3 runs. Fastball low, 3-0. Pardon me, Jeter now on the third base. Runners on the corners, 2 away. Martinez has swung the bat well here tonight. And he looks at a 3-0 fastball in the inside corner.
Now this is the advantage that Rhodes has from the left side. Throws so hard. That's the ball that Tino used to have some trouble with. Just opened himself up a little bit to try to get quicker inside. But in general, a lot of lefties don't throw all that hard. Arthur Rhodes is not one of those guys. He can bring it.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Boone is there. Goes to the back just in time to win the inning. We head for the bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead 3-2. Go last of the 8th inning. Game 2 of this American League Championship Series. The Mariners trailing by a run, trailing by a game. Boone to lead it off against Ramiro Mendoza, beginning his 2nd inning in relief of Mussina. Sharp breaking ball swung on and missed by Boone, who's 1 of 3 in the game. 4 of 27 in the postseason without a home run, without a run batted in. And he's behind 0-2.
Boone still just pulling out of there. Really pressing, knowing that this team is relying on him. Got Rivera getting ready to go in the pen for the Yankees.
Off the glove of Mendoza. Soriano is there and it slows in time. One of the biggest plays of the game right there, turned in by Ramiro Mendoza. You never know how that ball is going to ricochet, where it's going to ricochet. But if he doesn't get a glove on it, it's into center field.
No question about that. A lot of middle infielders don't like their pitchers to try to field the ball after they pitch it. But if he didn't get a little bit of a piece of that, Soriano doesn't have a chance to get over and get it. Look at the athlete that Soriano is. Great body control. Getting Boone by a couple steps at first.
Now Edgar Martinez 0 for 3. Breaking ball, strike 1. Mendoza picking up where Jeff Nelson left off. The right-handed setup man along with a lefty Stanton trying to get it to Rivera. Nelson coming back to the Mariners. Signed as a free agent during the offseason, knowing that he would be again a setup man, not the closer. Line into right center field, a base hit. Williams over to cut it off. And Edgar Martinez with a 1-out single represents a tying run. Do you think about pinch running for him right now in the 8th inning?
No question about it. You got to run for him. This is your chance to win. Here comes Gibson right now to run for him. This is the classic Edgar Martinez swing that we've come to know. Watch, this ball's inside, but he just shoots it right the other way. Watch the eyes and the concentration, inside out, drag the bat head through the zone. That's the Edgar Martinez that we know and love.
We told you that Joe Torre did not want Rivera to go 2 full innings, but if he ran into any trouble with his starter or a reliever in the 8th, that he would bring Rivera on. So it's our AT&T Call to the bullpen. Mariano Rivera coming on to face John Olerud. Mariano Rivera comes on trying to get 5 outs and preserve a 1-run lead. We talked to Joe Torre about these two great bullpens and would they make a difference in the series?
No question. Again, I'm not sure who's at an advantage here. You know, our starters usually go 7 innings. Louis has a very balanced bullpen over there. You know, he's got the 3 left-handers coming out of there, and the guy who closes, Sasaki, who's been terrific for them for the last couple of years. But again, I think having a lead gives you a little bit of an advantage because of your bullpen. And for us, it's more important probably to have a lead because we're going to use our closer only with a lead, basically, when you're on the road.
So here comes Rivera, who pitched 1 inning, getting a save in yesterday's win. Allowed a hit, walked a batter, allowed a run. He's been lights out in the postseason throughout his career. Time called before the pitch was delivered by Olerud. Rivera has only blown 1 save in the postseason. And that was the last series the Yankees lost in the postseason. The '97 division series to the Cleveland Indians.
There's his percentage, and it amazes me, Tom, when you think that Rivera is basically a 1-pitch pitcher. He throws a fastball. He'll cut that fastball, which is what he does most of the time. If he really needs a strike, he'll four-seam it and try to straighten it out. But his cutter is so unbelievable. He doesn't need anything else.
Charles Gibson has come on to run at first for Edgar Martinez. Olerud waits and looks at a strike. This could be a lengthy at bat, only because Rivera is taking so much time once he comes to the set position. And Olerud generally not the kind of guy that's going to wait around that long. He did on that pitch after asking for time on the prior pitch.
He's paying a lot of attention to Gibson over there, who's stolen only 1 base on the season. I don't think Gibson's over there to steal a base. He's out there to make sure he can score on a gapper.
Fastball, strike 2, right down the gut to Olerud.
Left-handed hitter's got to make sure the ball's away a little bit. And that's the pitch right there, not where Posada wanted it. You got to hit that pitch. If you look at a pitch middle in, if you're a left-handed hitter, that ball's going to cut in on your hands and you're going to get jammed. You got to get the ball away from you so when it starts to move, it moves out over the plate and you can handle it.
0-2 on Olerud. Bouncing ball at Martinez. He'll go to second. Dangerous play and they get the out.
Well, I wonder who was there to complete that dangerous play. Derek Jeter puts his stamp on a ball game every day he plays. This is a very dangerous play. Martinez coming off the bag, staying on the line, deciding to go to second with it. With Gibson all over Jeter, he makes the play, keeps his foot on the bag. Wow. How much more can this guy do to save his team?
Ball 1 to Mike Cameron. Oh, there's more.
Yeah, you kind of get that feeling, don't you?
Yeah, you do. Cameron 0 for 2, hit by a pitch scored on the Javier home run in the 4th inning. Yankees with a 1-run lead. Olerud slow a foot over at first.
Take another look at that play. You see Gibson trying to run inside the baseline. He's really hoping that he'll get hit with that ball. If he gets hit with it, he's safe. Tino does a great job of throwing the ball inside, and Derek Jeter does an even better job of stretching out there and catching it almost the way a first baseman would.
1-1 to Cameron. At the knees on the outside corner, strike 2.
Here's the cutter. Look at where Posada's setting up. Nice pitch. The rally cap's working here in Seattle.
1 ball, 2-strike pitch. Check swing, he went around at strike 3. Rivera comes on, Olerud and Cameron. We go to the 9th. Yankees 3, Seattle 2. Play there over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Bobby Cox may bring Greg Maddux back for Game 4 on Saturday, and we know Randy Johnson's getting the ball on Sunday against the Braves. Jorge Posada, first pitch swinging, fouls it out of play against Arthur Rhodes. 3-2, Yankees lead it. Posada, O'Neill, and Brosher, Spencer, and then Brosher stew up here in the 9th inning. Lou Piniella pacing around in that dugout. His team 3 outs away from falling behind in this championship series. 2-0 going to New York.
You know, that's never going to be easy, but in this postseason, the teams that have been on the road have fared fairly well. The Yankees are showing that right now.
Well, this has been a juggernaut Yankee club, but especially on the road. In the postseason since 1996, they are 50-17. 50-17. On the road, they have only lost 7 times. So they've lost 10 in the Bronx.
Mariners also a great road team.
Yeah.
Mariners during the season, as Mussina gets struck out there, only lost 1 road series all season long. Here comes Luke.
Well, they had Jeff Nelson up. They had Sasaki up. And it's time for the AT&T call to the bullpen. Good work by Arthur Rhodes. And Nelson will come on to pitch. Top of the 9th inning. 1 out, nobody on. The Yankees leading 3-2. And on to pitch. It was such a huge part of the Yankees winning 4 World Series in the last 5 years. Right-hander Jeff Nelson.
Nelson with a fastball and a wicked slider. A pitch that, when he was with the Yankees, used almost exclusively the slider. Fastball almost only when he needed to get a strike. This year, he's actually mixed in that fastball a little more often and been very effective that way.
It's the 7th year in a row that Nelson has pitched in the postseason. He pitched for the Mariners, of course, against the Yankees in that division series of '95. Then came over to New York. Breaking ball up and in.
One of the reasons that slider's so effective, he drops down 6'6".
There it is.
Comes from a funny arm angle for the right-handers. Very hard to pick up, and it already looks like it's going to hit you as soon as it leaves his hand.
Nelson was with the Mariners organization from 1986 until 1995, when at the end of that season he came to the Yankees. Great trade made by New York. As you look at some of the numbers, it's been an outstanding year for Nelson. That ball hit hard down a left field line, giving chase, unable to get it out there is Javier. And Shane Spencer with a stand-up double. That was a trade you may remember that the Yankees got Nelson and Tino Martinez. Sterling Hitchcock and Russ Davis going the other way.
Well, this is what we're talking about right here with Nelson. That is the fastball. Sinks right back in to Spencer's bat. The big leg kick, but the short stride. Good balance, and he knows this is a double as soon as he hits it.
Now Brocious, he had the 2-run double to start the scoring back in the Yankees' second inning and scored on the single by Knobloch. Slider, strike one. Another one, strike two.
Take a look at what Nelson's slider looks like in super slow-mo. Look at the spin. They say look for the dot in the middle of the ball if you can find it. The seam spinning around the ball so quickly that it forms a little bit of a dot in the middle. That's what you're trying to look for if you're a hitter. To recognize the pitch. See if you can pick it up again. The release from Nelson. Here's a little circle in the middle of the ball. And let me tell you, if you can pick that circle up in about 0.2 seconds that you have time to recognize it and then decide whether or not it's a strike and then try to hit it, then you're definitely better than I was.
1-2. Threw it again, and Brocious able to make contact to stay alive. Well, we have a moment. Our coordinating producer of Major League Baseball on Fox is Mike Weissman. Today's game produced by Jeff Gowen, directed by Jim Lynch. Our associate director Derek Manning, our broadcast associate Kevin Dresser, the technical producer David Hill. Studio produced by Gary Lang, directed by Bob Levy. The senior producer of Fox Sports is Bill Brown, and the executive producers of Fox Sports, Ed Gorn and David Hill. And our thanks to Mark Wagner up here in the booth. We're in the 9th inning. Runner at second base. And a big runner it is out there. Yankees in front by one. There goes the runner. Swung on and fouled out of play. And Spencer could have gone in standing up at third.
Well, here we talked about getting one look before. Nelson, he no-looked him. He didn't even look at him, so Spencer had a little bit of a walking lead there, and he said, if you're not going to stop me, I'm just going to keep going.
Saw Brett Boone come in from second base to say, hey, you may want to give him a look out here.
Nelson concentrates mostly on the hitter. Doesn't like it when guys are on base, obviously, but doesn't have that happen to him that often. But if you fall into a pattern where you're never looking at the guy or never checking him back there, a guy with Spencer's speed, smart move to take off.
1-2 to Brocious is high at even the count. Came with a fastball that time and fouled straight back.
About the difference in Nelson now. Before he wasn't looking at Spencer at all. Now he's not looking at home plate at all. Watching Spencer the entire time. And then as he delivers the pitch, he looks back towards home. I think it's kind of strange that before Nelson was no-looking the guy at second base. Now he's no-looking home.
Paying a lot of attention out there to Spencer. And now the pitch to the plate. Slider and a roller up the third base line. Foul, and Nelson will go over there and pick it up immediately. That ball can make a turn, come back into fair territory. Why you pick it up when it rolls foul.
Watch the movement on this slider. Zip. Starts off right off of Brocious' left thigh and then ends up out over the plate.
Brocious giving Nelson quite a battle here. That is a huge run at second base.